Not every car video has to have speed ramps. So today we look at this McLaren commercial and I'll show you different techniques how to light and frame a car to make your footage to the next level. So after watching this video you should be able to shoot something like this. So this is the first shot we're looking at. We have this nice McLaren car on here in this nice moody atmosphere. So how do you light such a scene? First thing first, why is this car orange? You probably look at a lot of car commercials and think, oh, why is this car red? Why has this other ugly color? The reason for it, you can see much better the form and textures of a car with a more prominent color. Also, all these car commercials or commercials in general are for noticing. So when you're watching your TV and you see a black car across this screen, you probably won't notice it. But if it's a red car, a green, yellow car, you will see it more clearly on the asphalt. So try next time when you want to do a car edit where you can do speed ramps, do whatever you want. In my opinion, there are no old school cinematographers, new school cinematographers. Everything that it's nice, good looking content is good content for everyone. So have fun with it. So, but like I said before, try a different color. Not always this white, black car. Search a deep green car or deep blue car and look what you can make with it. It's really hard to do car commercials or a pretty shot from a car because the movement is really difficult. It's very slow to break in the right position. But take your time. Find leading lines of the car. Try to understand how it's looking, what is the most important aspects of the car, what car guys like about this car. I'm not a car guy. That's the reason why I have to ask people what is the most special thing about this car. But also it's good that I'm not a car guy. So I see this aspect of shooting a car commercial really different because I don't treat it as a car, I treat it as an actor. And so it gives me much more possibilities to work around storylines and aesthetic because I show probably different things a car person would show, but that doesn't mean it gets worse. So after you put your car in position, you put haze in the room. Haze has 2 or 3 things that it does. First thing is it lets you see light ray, which is really important for the shot. Second thing, it lifts the shadows. So if you're in a dark scenery, you get this nice brighter layer with less contrast in the background, which really makes your footage look more clean. It doesn't have this crushed blacks in the background that gets really noisy. So you have this nice roll off. Also, it softens the image so a bit. So overall, you get a nice creamy image. But I will always suggest to people only haze the background. Don't haze in front of the car. Sure, when you're in a closed scenario, haze will sometimes go in front of the car, but I just want to have the background and softness and not in the front because I want to make the car still look sharp. It's the most important thing in the image. Try to always light a car from above. So most of the time you look for locations that have something where you can mount lights on the ceiling. Most of the time it's just a butterfly around the size of the car where you put a few lights like sky panels into it, and this is probably a 12 by 12, and put a grid and just light down. With light that comes from above, you get more roll off and see a lot better the curvatures of the car than just blasting light onto it. So always try to light from above or behind or in front, but never just blast light on a car. It really removes the cool aspect and the form. Next thing, as you can see, the highlights are really glowing. First, it's from the haze, and secondly, you put filtration onto the camera. A black promise probably for darker scenes. I would always recommend when you're shooting a more brighter scenes, I wouldn't use a promise. I would use a glimmer filter. They act a little bit differently. A promise much more lifts the shadows, and in combination with haze, too extreme, but I think they handled it here really well. And the second light they used here is some big ones outside, or they just timed it correctly and the sun was on a lower end and blasting into the scene, but this wouldn't be controllable. So it could basically also be that they shot on day, on the night, put a big butterfly here and just blasted a bright light source into the room so they get really nice light reflections. Here's the driving scene where they mounted the camera on the ceiling, and as you can see, we frame for the view. What I want to tell you with it, always expose for outdoor. When you want to show outdoor, don't try to do a mix of, okay, the exposure in the car has to be right and the exposure outside has to be right. You have to compromise on one thing, and it looks most of the time more cinematic just exposed for the outside. It really is enough that we see a little bit of texture from everything from the inside, because it's not important for that shot. You want to recreate, okay, how is it to drive the car? What do we see? How is the handling? This is what you show with this shot. Not every shot has to be a product shot where you see every single detail. This is a really important aspect when you're doing a commercial like this. This is another scene from this commercial. As you can see, this is a really abstract one. We have this huge light construction that gives us visual interest, and also interesting that they always done a cold, warm, cold, warm, cold, warm, cold, warm look. Most of the time people will just go with one color, but I did it here for a little bit of color contrast, and we have this nice leading lines. The whole construction drives our eyes in the direction of the car, and this is something you always have to look for. In car commercials, you really have to look for the nice moving lines that everything makes feel faster, because in combination with this wide angle lens, we really get to focus and beam into the sand wheel. It gives us a feeling from speed, even though nothing is happening, just this workers working on the car. And like I said, often more practical are always better. This scene only works because we have this extreme amount of practicals. It's an abstract look. When you want to create an image, always think about what is something special, what has never been done before. And this is something like that. A lot of people have these car scenes where they're in a hall and they have these asteras around the corner. But here they said, fuck it, we do a lot of them. And that's a unique shot that you will remember. Also, these kinds of long light really embrace the form from the car. You can see from the curvature of the lines really what the car is designed. Here's another example from a silhouette. We are here on blue hour, and a lot of people would probably now light this person. It's this big open area. Every light in your arsenal you would put here would be really look lit. Sometimes just the sky and everything, how the scene naturally is enough. It's the look here. When your normal footage would probably look a bit boring, but what did they done? They embrace the dark blue and also used a more coolish color temperature, but make the color more dense and less saturated. We still get this nice cinematic look. Silhouettes are cinematic. Like I said before, most of the time the concept of something being there is still enough. You know this is a motorcycle, you see the form from it, and that's okay. Also, it underlines the mood of the scenery, this dark feeling. We're in this dark, empty space alone, and when you put the light of him, the whole emotion of the situation would change. It look more like hero or aliens are coming to be a little more extreme, but it's not what the shot about to say to the audience. So always think about it, what mood and message I want to transport to the audience. And here it's just this isolated, dark feeling. And look, what do we have here? Another silhouette shot. So why doesn't we have a light on her? Because it doesn't matter. We want to tell the story of, okay, she's in the scenery, she's dancing. So we expose for the windows. To get this dark look, you always have to expose for the windows that is not clipping, and put on the other side of the wall big neck, because the light is still bouncing from the wall back onto her actor, and that's not what we want. So we just expose for here, black out the whole other wall, so they get this nice silhouette. There are also some shots where camera is panning with an anamorphic lens, so we get this nice lens streak. But if enough, we didn't use one light at all. There was the possibility, as you can see, turn on these practicals. And a lot of people would do that to put this nice warm color contrast. But because this shot is matching this shot, the practicals would distract the color palette. So we don't do it. We stay at this dark bluish color with high contrast and this nice silhouette. In this shot, we have a technique that is used a lot, and that is a really wide angle lens mounted to a person and really close. We can also put lens with a huge aperture in there, like maybe 40mm 1.8, maybe 18mm 1.8 is also enough, but a lot of people also do 10mm shots, but the background wouldn't be get as blurry. But you can make it more extreme if you put in DaVinci a mask doing an edge blur, so that the lines go a bit smudgy and it looks more dreamy. When you do a shot like this, something have to be around them. You cannot really light them. Here is this one guy probably with 1 or 2 asteras following her, so you get this nice pinkish touch on her skin. But you see so much that when not everything is something interesting, the shot really feels dead. Even more at night, because you have this black sky of nothing, and these shots tend to be a little bit low angle. It will look really bad. So try, when you know, okay, I'm going to do a shot like this, try to be in an area where you have a lot of interesting practicals or houses that make the shot interesting. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, I really would appreciate a subscription from you. Here's a video every day. So my name is Marc Banyuli, and we'll see you next time.